y'all, welcome to my YouTube filming my very first makeup tutorial. This is the final look. I will be talking a lot more on my TikTok platform about the transition from TikTok to YouTube to Instagram, about the things that I still want to be creating the most. Since I started content creation back in 2020, I have been wanting to start a YouTube since then. I bought my vlog camera 2 years later in 2022, and I have been waiting patiently to teach myself how to edit, learn the things that I need to know about brand deals, the ins and outs of the marketing PR world that I'm stepping into as an influencer before I ever branched out onto YouTube. After receiving hundreds of comments asking me when is my YouTube coming, if I'm still gonna do my YouTube, I wanna do weekly vlogs, I wanna do podcasts, I want to dive into makeup again. And this, get ready with me today, is just the beginning. So if you've even made it through this intro and you still want to watch the makeup, thank you for being here. I cannot describe to you how thankful I am that you guys are here. Let's get started. I'm gonna waste no time and jump right in. I'm getting ready really early today. It's 11 a.m. Don't mind the photo of myself as my lock screen.
You my boo. You're my boo, and I've been missing you. I've been missing you oh so long.
I do have a tap through, so it's like all my favorite people and things. I am also one of those things included. I'm driving to New York later tonight with Michelle, my roommate, my best friend. If you're coming from TikTok, then you definitely have some backstory on me, my living situation. I live with my best friend, which I freaking know, okay? Not good to live with your friends, okay? I know that there's like such a bad rep of what can happen, and trust me, I've lived it. I have horror stories that would keep you up at night, okay? Try 6 months literally not speaking to your ex-best friend and roommate while living with them. But that is not my situation. I met Michelle in college, which college besties. Lifers. I feel like all of my college best friends are some of the most genuine people in the entire fucking world. And I think that that has something to do with the fact that when you're in college or when you are in your 20s, you are more authentically yourself. So you're finding new people that are fitting that new version of yourself. I'm on the first step of my makeup and I'm already going on tangents. I'm so excited to be on YouTube. Again, if you came from my TikTok, then a lot of these products are gonna be familiar to you. I just laid my brows down with this, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze Gel. Phenomenal. I love this product. It's like cement. I'll wake up if I don't wash off my face. Wake up and my brows are exactly like this. I'm gonna do my eyes before my base because I'm playing with this gorgeous palette today, as y'all saw in the beginning. Oh my god. When I opened this, I gasped. I put down a little bit of my Milk Makeup Future Fluid Concealer. I'm in 4N for this brighter shade. I tend to use concealer for eyeshadow primer just because it is nice and sticky. The exciting thing about YouTube is I can really get into all the tools that I use, my brushes, technique. I'm tapping this concealer in with my E.L.F brush. This is their E.L.F Putty Bronzer. I got this in a trio, and I swear I bought 2 of the trios. Here you can see the doubles. They're really great cheap brushes. If you don't have a good brush collection and you're looking to start, definitely start with E.L.F. You can't get cheaper and you can't get better quality for how cheap they are. Preface this right now by saying every single one of my brushes is dirty. I'm really sorry if that like disgusts you and you can't watch videos with dirty brushes, but that's gonna be my YouTube, baby. Literally the best part. Can I do this with my nails? I don't know. Yeah, I'm going in with my Sigma E28 Detail Buffer brush. I love how fat and dense it is. Buff out the creases. I'm gonna go in with this Sugar palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. They sent me the Sugar and Spice collection, which is stunning, but I haven't dipped into the palettes at all. So this is gonna be my first impression, and also I know I'm gonna love it. I love Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadows. This is A1. It's that bright pink, so pretty. I'm gonna pack this all over the lid. Keep this tight to the actual lid shape, not onto the crease. This is an It's Bell Cosmetics, one of their essentials brushes. That shade right next to it. Tap off the excess always. You don't want to go in with too much product. Tiny little circles into the outer V. Really like to have the brush held up high like this to ensure I get some kind of lift. I don't entirely know what I'm doing for the eyeshadow look yet, but use the colors in the palette to my advantage and kind of build a base and then play with the sparkles in here. Love shades that I'm currently using right now because they're so shadow-like. Really helps create more of that, like building that A2 up further and further closer to my brow bone, then slowly start to drag it over into my crease. Windshield wiper motions, y'all. Try not to drag it down onto the lid. Fluffy brush, back in with that pink, dusting all over the lid. Really blending all of that together. Once again, right down the line. This is a little bit of a sparkly shade, which I love. I love transition shades like this. I personally love a shimmer throughout the crease. I'm gonna continue to build up this wrapped shape. This brush is a Sigma medium sweeper E54. And it's not gonna disperse it as easily as the other brushes. Keep it right where I want it. I like that this brush is called a sweeper brush because that's what I do with it the most. I do these tiny little sweeps to create more of a shadow that I'm looking for, but without a harsh line. Really gentle pats, bringing this across my crease. Going back in with A2, same brush. I'm gonna buff out the lines that I just created with that A2 again. I might regret this step. I'm not entirely sure what my plan is, but I'm gonna go in with my Haus Labs pigment paint. I don't own very many products like this, but I do think that they're really useful to create eyeliners or shapes in your eye looks without having to use shadow, because shadow can be really tricky. Little detail brush, so itsy bitsy. Gorgeous, gasp, stunning, stun. Pigment paint is in magenta shimmer. Coating my little brush. Wrap it around. And this is one of my favorite brushes. This is a MAC 242 brush. Really flat. This stuff dries really fast. I kind of forgot that. Gotta act quickly. Let's start playing with the shimmers. I want to play with this B2. I'm gonna use the same brush. It's dirty, but and I want to do a little ombre, so I'm gonna pack this inner corner. Holy. Are you guys seeing that on my inner corner? I know I put this darker pink down, but you gotta be able to see that. This is before Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is after her, like, that shimmer. I'm freaking out. Already it is doing everything that I wanted it to do. So fucking pretty. Oh my God. I'm gonna deepen the crease a little bit more with the purple shades and then use this gorgeous lime greeny as like a pop of highlight. So I'm gonna go in with C2. Oh, it's delicious. It's like a burgundy purple with purple reflex. Like, this is going to be the perfect shade to deepen the crease. This is a Sigma medium tapered blending E49 brush. Keeps the product nice and tight, but it does disperse it as I do little patting motions, deepening that little almost petal effect that I'm creating. I'm wrapping around the pink just to make sure that that ombre effect is really kicking in. Back in with the last darkest shade that we used with the brush that I used for A3 to disperse that dark color. Little tiny circular motions. I usually go back over with all of the shades, like I just went in with A3, A2, and A1, just reinforcing the color, the blend. Dipping into C1, that icy lilac. I gotta find a place for this. I wanna use all the shimmers. I think I'm gonna use like every single color in this palette, but I wanna line very subtle. Bringing that lilac over top of the crease. I like cutting my crease with shimmer because it disperses on its own throughout the day. It wears very easily. Blending it down into the pink liners from Anastasia Beverly Hills. They have a white one that I think could be really fun with this look. They also have a black. So I think I might start with this and buff out the liner and make it a little bit smoky. The reason why I love it so much, it's got a really precise felt tip applicator, and I love felt tip applicators for liquid liners. I don't really prefer like the paintbrush style. Okay, that kind of killed. I'm going to deepen and smudge out the liner with my favorite angled brush, Real Techniques 356 brush. Can't live without this to buff out my liners. Wing is done and I've smudged it out. That darker purple that I just went in with, connect them. The base is always my favorite part, so I'm gonna finish out with mascara, pop on a little lash. This shit is downright impossible. Literally, hell no. No! That was the most uncomfortable thing that I've put on my eyes in a long time. That's not happening. That is not happening. I just fixed it, I think. I cut off a little bit more and moved it over, so it's more of a half lash, and I kind of like it. I gotta get new lashes, like, immediately. These are way bigger than what I'm used to. I think it's finally time that I move on to my base. I'm just wiping off the eyeshadow from underneath my eye. A little glittery, just a little. Starting with a bit of my Calorie So Blown Smoothing Primer, because this fills in my pores so well without being mattifying. It's a very hydrating primer. Feels good on sensitive skin and acne, so I've been really liking this. I'm also gonna use the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. Just a little bit of this product or it will start to pill with my blurring primer. I love to play with foundations, like foundation cocktails. I'm gonna do like, you know, I'm gonna do like a half a pump of my House Labs foundation. This is in 160 Light Neutral. I think I've had this for over 2 years. This is definitely expired and it's almost out, so. I'm gonna mix the foundation with my Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation. This has got SPF 25 in it, shade 160 Light Neutral as well. Love that they're the same shade names. Mix those together on the back of my hand. A technique that I use on TikTok, which I use every single day to blend out my foundation. To apply the first layer of foundation, I always use my fingers before a brush or a beauty blender. Your fingers, unlike a brush or a beauty blender, will not take away any product. It will not soak up product. It will just move it around. Better than silicone, better than anything, better than a brush. An oldie but a goodie. This is still my tried and true. This is the Zoeva 104 Buffer Brush. It's perfect. It's so dense. For concealer, I'm gonna use my Milk Makeup Future Fluid Concealers. For the face, I'm gonna go in with 10W, a warmer, darker shade. Matches my complexion a bit more. What is y'all's favorite concealer? I'm definitely on the hunt. I'm not the one to often switch up my makeup routine if there's not a reason to, or like if I'm not sent something to try. I love blending out my concealers with a brush, but I do my concealers in 2 separate steps. More natural face shade that goes on first. A little cream contour. This is my Butter Biscuit. Butter Biscuit is making it onto the YouTube. This is the Sigma Multitasker F47 brush. Flat little edge to it, so it's nice for nose contour, really nice underneath the jawbone and into the temples. So it is a multitasking brush. You can use it all over your face. For blush, I'm gonna do a layered effect, starting with the lighter blush. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills Blurring Serum Blushes. I'm dipping back into this shade because It's a really good transition blush shade. If you are into layered blushes, try getting serum blushes along the lines of this formula where it's pretty sheer, and then you can build up without the colors becoming too muddled. This is the baby pink shade of the blurring blushes, and I love how this just lights up the cheek. Makes you glow, it looks a bit brighter. Similar to the foundation, I blend out my blushes with my fingers because the color will be the most pigmented if you use your fingers besides a brush or a beauty blender. Vice versa, if you have too much pigment, you know, use a brush or a beauty blender and it will help take away some of the product. Second layered blush, I'm gonna go in with Rare Beauty Lucky. One of my favorite Rare Beauty blush shades. It's definitely the most vibrant shade of Rare Beauty's blushes. This formula is flawless, as I'm sure a lot of you know if you've tried these blushes. Yes! That looks perfect. Back in with the Milk makeup. This time the shade is in 4N. This is the same shade that I used for my eyeshadow primer. At this stage, I always use a setting spray to help set down the concealer, make it a little bit more tacky. And this is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Setting Spray. I sit here and twiddle my thumbs while my concealer sits for like a minute or two. You know, give my back a break. Look outside the window. I'm using a ton of tiny little pats to help blend this out. Favorite part of my whole routine, I think, has got to be setting my face down and then like sculpting it out is, oh, it's the best. So underrated. I gotta get some more setting powder. I am running low. My all-time favorite is the One Size translucent setting powder. I'm gonna do a quick run over my face with my beauty blender. Wet this with a bit of my setting spray. I always tap off a little bit of my setting powder onto my palm and then I go in. It's not like cakes of powder. You get that excess off. Press real firmly into the skin. That is doing something really funny around my acne spot. That has never done that before.
Why? 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 Why?
What the f? That like never happens around my acne. Fan out the bake and distribute the powder over the rest of my face. Make sure I get every little nook and cranny. Usually take a pressed powder after my loose and go over all of the outside of my face where I really don't bake. All my foundation, concealer, all that is set down. Huda Beauty Bacon Snatch Powder, and this is in Banana Bread. Really like how warm and yellowy this is. It helps bring back some color. This is a Sigma setting powder brush. This is F12. Last step of setting down my face, I take my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette, the limited edition palettes from last year. The most worth it product I've ever bought. I use it every single day. Both of these finishing powders, I like both the yellow and the white. Press this into my under eye. These powders are magic to me. They blur the face the more and more that you put on. It does not get cakey. I don't know how. Some bronzer, blush, highlight. Gotta finish out the eyes, some brows, lips. This is a Fenty Sunstalker bronzer in Shady Biz 02. This is the second shade in the range, and I love Fenty bronzers. She's nailed the color tones of them, texture, the formula. They also sent the brush with it, and sometimes bronzers either disappear, they look like nothing, or they just look like a stripe of mud. It doesn't come off gold and glowy. This shade is really warm. It looks so warm in the pan, but on my skin, I just adore it. Make sure you get the neck. You always want to connect whatever you're doing on your face a little bit into this area so it's not a harsh line. For blush, I am going to use the blush topper from my Hourglass palette. I'm also going to mix one more. Total 4 blushes. I definitely use this pink shade more than the mauve because the pink is so stunning. Really get that going on the apples, onto the forehead, a little bit across the nose. Besame palette from It's Belle Cosmetics reached out to me last year. They sent me a ton of products, mixture of that bright purple and the pink. Focus this right onto tops of the cheekbones. Tiny little taps. This is a Jabanesque brush. Back in with my Huda Beauty Easy Bacon Snatch. For the highlight, I'm gonna go in with a new highlight that was just sent to me by Anastasia Beverly Hills with my eye look because it was sent with the Sugar and Spice collection. Glow Seeker highlighter in Ethereal. This shade is icy. The glitter is micro glitter. It's definitely got that glow from within. So pretty. One of my favorite highlighting brushes, Sigma F03 High Cheekbone.Highlighter brush. Run this through the brow bone, on top of the brow bone. I don't often wear gold highlighters unless they are like this, a true white gold, stunning. Taking the tiniest break for a airhead. What's y'all's favorite flavor of airheads? The next few steps are subtle, but they're some of my faves. I love final steps. Kosas Brow Pop. This is in medium brown, and I don't fill in my brows very much. Let me get you in closer. Recolor what was lost with setting my face down, the concealer. Just make sure that they still pop, you know? The front here where a lot of it gets lost. Do a few little hair strokes. And then I take the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pen, also in medium brown, fill in my beauty marks. Never used to do this. Just my favorite way to make my natural face features pop. My lips are cracking all too fucking hell. I've had this lip sit for a while now. I haven't been wearing makeup just to purposely give my face some time to breathe. I've been turning this lip sit into a mole because it's just too big. Right on my lip line, it's very noticeable. Lower lash line and my tight line with some brown liner. These are the Tattoo Studio gel pencil liners from Maybelline. We gotta pull out the sugar palette one more time to finish out the eyes. Start with adding that bright pink, that B2, all over the inner corner. Oh my God, look at how fun that is. Really like highlighting that little fold that everyone has. Gorgeous minty, icy blue. Start running this underneath the lash. Going full sparkle at this point. This color is light payoff. It's not like teal. Really pretty under the eyes though, look at that. I'm gonna dip into A2, slowly buff out my lower lash line. I'm gonna run the tiniest bit of blue mascara. Really pretty, especially with brown eyes. Soft lip line with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Malt lip liner. Not too harsh, not pressing too hard. Something that I don't do enough, I feel like a lot of people don't do, which elevates the makeup so much in such a subtle way, is carve out your lips. The sharpest of makeup comes from the retouching, because being expected to do a full lip, no mistake, is a big ask. To lay on top of that for the gloss, I'm gonna go in with a Fenty Cream gloss, like their gloss bombs. This is one of their gloss creams. This is the shade Mauve Wives. Stunning, cool toned purpley pink. I love the color payoffs of these. I love how they feel. They're super hydrating. I can still have my bold lip, but I do need to hydrate my poor little lips. Oh my God, guys. Final step is another round of a setting spray. This is the Milk Makeup Pore Eclipse Mattifying Spray, which is one of my favorite ways to end off a makeup look because I've put down all the glow that I need to. This is the final makeup look. I can't believe we just did this whole look together on YouTube to be able to explain as much as I want to explain. Hopefully with future videos, I'll be able to kind of choose some story times or get ready with me's for the day. The eyes turned out absolutely stunning. Outro, y'all. And I've thought long and hard about what I want to have as my outro, and I have no idea still. I know that I want to spend the most time making content about makeup, filming makeup get ready with me's again. So if that sounds like what you guys are wanting, please let me know in the comments. One of my biggest passions is reaction accounts. I also really want to start a reactions YouTube. Anyway, I will always continue making content about makeup, about my life. I think that it's gonna be really nice to start sharing it on here, and we'll see if TikTok gets banned. I don't know. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to dip out. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, like, comment, subscribe. Every single like, every single comment, every single follow matters so much. I've come a long way on my TikTok and Instagram, building up the followers that I have. Have the best day. Until the next video, I will see y'all very soon. I love you.